Welcome back, grade 12s. NosANA here with another maths problem. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to uh, solve for the derivative using first principles. Alright, uh, just a quick note. So this question here is always in the exam and it's always 5 marks, right? Calculating the derivative using the first principles, it's always in your exam from June up until the final exam, and 5 marks of 150 is actually 3.33%. So these marks are very important. So I'm going to show you how to get those free marks. So before we even start, I want you to just check something. Using the power rule, right? We are told, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you um, the answer before you do the first principles, right? So how do we get the answer? We say f of x, right, is equal to, we're just going to rewrite the statement, the equation that we have, 6x squared. That's what we are given, right? Remember, when we want to find the derivative using the power rule, what do? We multiply the coefficient with the exponent, right? We multiply the coefficient with the exponent and we subtract 1 from the exponent. In this case here, the answer now will be minus 12x to the power of 1, right? But we don't write 1, we say 2 minus 1, and then we got 1. So this is actually going to be the answer in your after you've used the first principles. So I'm going to write the answer somewhere, so you can use this as your guide now, right? When you are done using the first principles, you can use that as your guide to see if your answer is actually going to be this. Okay, so let me write it down here. F, right, prime x is equal to minus 12x. Okay, so I'm just going to leave this over here for now and erase the rest, right? Because we are here to get the 5 marks, right? We are here to get the 5 marks, not to know how to get the 5 marks. Okay, so let me show you now how do we do it. Right, so we know the formula to get the first the formula to get the derivative using the first principle is f prime x, right, is equal to we say lim h approaches 0, and what we say here, we say f of x plus h, right, minus f of x, like that. All that we divide that by h. Okay, so let me just show you what this means. Just for context, when we say h approaches 0, right? When we say h approaches 0, naturally, when you have this, whatever it is that you have on top there, and you are dividing it by 0, your calculator will tell you what? It will tell you that it's a math, right? It tells you that it's a math error. All right, so the reason why this happens is because when we say h approaches 0, we don't say that h is equal to 0. No, h approaches 0 is not the same as h is equal to 0. Okay, so when we say h approaches to 0, we're just saying that the value of h is approaching 0, and what that means is we could start with 0 comma 1, right? And for it to be approaching 0, it can be heading towards something like 0,00001. You see, it's getting smaller, right? It's striving towards 0, but it never reaches 0. So that's why we use the concept, that's why we say h approaches 0. All right, so here's what actually cool and why your calculator tells you that it is a math error. This is why your calculator tells you math error. Okay, so that happens because when you divide, let's say you're dividing 10 by 0 comma 1, right? When you divide 10 by 0 comma 1, if you punch that on a calculator, you'll get 1, you'll get 10, you'll get 100, isn't it? You get 1, you get 100. Okay, you will get 100. You can see that this is what you're dividing with. Now let us try now to divide 10, right? Sorry, let's try to divide 10 by something like 0 comma 0 1. You see, you can see that 0 comma 0 1 is actually smaller than 0 comma 1, and what you get there is actually is 1,000. You see what I mean? So as your number approaches 0, as the x approaches 0, uh, whatever that you're dividing with, the result is getting bigger. All right, so that's not really important. It's just for you, for context, right? So let's go back to solving for this, for the first principles. Let's do that. Okay, let me just erase that. Okay, cool. Let's now solve for this. All right, so what I need you to know is that wherever you have, if this is your equation where you have minus 6x squared, right, you are going to take that, because see here, you have f of x, right, and then they have f of x plus h. So what you will do is you will take this, right, what they are giving you here, you put it over here, right, but in the place of x, you are going to put x plus h. Here is what I mean. So here we'll say limit, right, so there's an I over there, sorry about that. Okay, there's an I, let me just write that properly, okay, so we are saying lim what, h approaches 0, like that. So what are we going to do now? We are going to say minus 6, right, now where there is x, you put x plus h, x plus h, and you say minus, right. Over here now you're going to, oh, sorry about that, we are squaring. See there, we are saying x squared. So in that x there, in that part there where you have 6x squared, where you have that x squared, you put x plus h, and you see that we have a minus there, right? So that's what we do. So here we square this. All right, so just let me erase this. Okay, so what I'm saying now is we square the bracket, and now we have minus 6x. Let me just erase this as well. Oh, sorry. Okay, let me just erase this real quick. Right. Okay, cool. So what I'm trying to say, or what I'm saying is, we have a minus. You can see that there's a minus. It's part of the fraction, right? This minus here, this minus is part of the fraction. I mean, it's part of the the formula is part of the formula, right? So what we'll do is we'll just leave it there as part of the formula, and uh, we put what we are given here, right? We put the minus 6 x squared in there, so we'll say minus 6 x squared, right, being squared, we put that in there, and then we divide all that by h, right, and we continue. Now, okay, now what we're doing now is we're just going to continue. I mean, limits h approaches 0, and we remove the brackets. Let me show you something real cool, right? Let me show you something very, very interesting and cool, right? So when you are given this, because right now we need to simplify this bracket, right? You can see that we are squaring a bracket. Here's a cool method of doing that, and a fast way to do it as well, because this question here, it can be done in uh, uh, just under or above 5 minutes. It doesn't take long. So you have here, we have, I mean, plus x plus h squared. Let me show you a trick, so that you don't waste time. You don't need to open both brackets. You don't need to do this. You don't need to say x plus h, x plus h. You don't need to do that. I'm going to show you a real cool method, fast one too. Okay, so what you'll just have to do is simple. You have to, since you have square there, you're going to have to square the x. So you'll say x squared, right? And now what you're going to say now you're going to say x times h. So you'll say x times h times 2. And then you get what? 2, sorry, you get 2hx. You get 2hx. Just like that. Or xh, it's up to you. Right? It doesn't matter. Remember, when you're multiplying, the order doesn't matter. Right? So that's what you are going to write over here. You're going to say plus 2xh, and then you say plus what? You're also going to square the h, right? You square the h, and what do you get? You get h squared, like that. So this is that bracket there. Okay, so if you don't mind, I'm just going to erase this real quick. Okay, just erase, yeah. Okay, so this is what we will have over there, but I'm also going to erase that. Okay, so we can rewrite it together properly using that method that I just showed you. Right, so now what are we going to do is, now we are going to say minus 6. We have our minus 6 over there, and now we need to do what I showed you guys, to say x squared plus 2hx, right, plus what? Plus h squared, right? And then we say minus, but now we don't need to say minus and then put the bracket again. We can just multiply that minus into there, and what we have, we'll have plus, we have plus 6x squared. Right, just let me fix the screen here. Right, let me just do this, right, for space. So yeah, I believe now you can see properly. Right, so we are going to divide that. Don't forget that you are dividing that by h. Okay, you divide that by h now, and you continue, because you're not done. Right, so now you need to remove that bracket. Right, so you're just going to say lim h approaches 0, and what you want to do now is remove this bracket. So what you're going to have, you're going to do this, put that there, and you're going to have what? Minus 6x h, h is 6x squared, 6x squared. Then you're going to have that minus 6 into there, right? And then what do we get? What do we get is, what we get is minus 12. Minus 12 what? hx, right? Sorry, minus 12 hx. And we also do that with a plus h there, and what we get is a minus 6h squared. And now we're going to say plus 6x squared. We are still dividing that, it's not over yet. We divide that by h. Okay, so well, if you're quick, right, you will see that this here, the minus 6x squared here, and the plus 6x squared there, they cancel, right? So if you've got a good eyesight, and if you are good with your numbers, your maths, and or if you've been practicing, you'll see that those two are quick to cancel out. So there's no need for you to rewrite them. So now you're just going to continue with what you're doing here, and say is equal to lim h approaches 0, right? Now since that cancelled, now you're going to have what? Minus 12, minus 12, right, hx minus 6h squared. We are dividing by what? We are dividing by h. Now what you just need to do is factorize. Okay, now what you just need to do is to factorize that, and you will be sorted. So now you just need to factor out h so that it can cancel. You see that you have the, remember, you don't want to put this 0 in your calculator, right? You don't want to put that 0 in your calculator, because it's going to give you math error. So now this is the time where you need to eliminate the denominator by factoring h out. So now we have lim, right, lim h approaches 0. Now we're factoring out h. You can see on the bottom we have positive h, so you also want to factor out positive h on top, right? And what we have here is 12x minus 6 h. Remember, it's being squared, so we're going to take out only one h from there. We divide that by h, and we rewrite again. We say lim h approaches 0, right? H approaches 0. Now, this and that will cancel, right? This and this cancels out, okay? And now what are we going to have left? We are going to have minus 12x minus 6h, right? So now, at this stage, what you can just do is substitute. Just replace. Now, what you can just do is the replace the h with a 0. So now what you're going to say, you're going to say, now you don't even have to say lim, you're just going to say is equal to, right? You're just going to put the equal to sign there and say minus 12x, right, minus 6 times 0. We know what we get, right? We get 0. So yeah, so we get 0 there, and then our answer now is going to be minus 12x. So this will be the final answer, and it will be useful that you just say that f prime x is equal to that. All right, so just like that, you have gotten yourself a free 5 marks, no critical thinking needed, right? And you've already shown that it is actually equal to that on the top there. So you can see that the top is actually equal to the bottom, and you just move on after you have secured your marks. So don't forget to just say therefore there, just say therefore uh, your answer is equal to minus 12x. So you always have to use the uh, right, you always have to use this rule here, okay? You always have to use the exponent rule for you to check if your answer is going to be, I mean, they call it the power rule. Yeah, power rule. You have to use your power rule to check if your answer is correct, right? There are no shortcuts here. You need to understand your work before you do it. All right, thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and share, and keep that notification bell on for more math videos.